Good morning, or should I say good afternoon, everybody. I am back from my holiday in Japan. I've been away for the past 2 weeks. I've been completely switched off, or almost completely switched off from work because it's been so busy. If you've been to Japan, you know it's just nonstop all day. I haven't had the time to do any work-related stuff, but I'm really happy to be back. I have a market on the 19th of July, my first market of 2025 at the Geek Markets in Canberra, so I'm going to start planning that. It's a little bit more than a month away, but knowing me, I definitely need to start things early because I'm a procrastinator and I also stress myself out really badly. This time I'm going to be investing in some market table equipment. If you are familiar with my previous markets, I have had like a nothing burger layout. It's just been very plain, very minimal, and not really my normal standard. But because I don't do many markets, I haven't found it worth it to invest in the materials. But now I think, honestly, that as a business owner, if I want to take myself serious, I do need to make sure that my stuff is of high standard and as to what I would like. So I'm going to try and get one of those little like signs, those like fabric, like the marquee signs with my business name. I might do one for Scarly as well because when I get my crochet kits in, I'm going to want to do more markets for that. So I'm going to try and do that and then also find ways to maximize the table space. I only have a really small table for this market, so it's the same one as my most recent market vlog from the end of last year. So I'm going to try and find ways to maximize the space on there because I do want to have a bunch of stuff. And in terms of items, I do want to feature a bit more of my patterns. I want to do like more of a Stitch by Scott feel. Because I do know that there are other crocheters at this market for sure. Some of them my friends, and it's great to have more crocheters around. But of course, we don't want to make sure that we're copying each other's items, or like not copying, but like replicating the same type of market items, and then that makes it sort of harder to compete against each other to get sales. I want all of us to be able to get sales. So I want to try and make sure that my items are a bit more unique to myself and also to my patterns, for my own brand. I want to have a bit more of a cohesive brand for this market as well with my own stuff. So that's going to be really exciting and hopefully optimize some sales and uniqueness as well and give everybody an opportunity to make sales, all of us crochet girlies. So that's the plan. I'm currently editing a vlog from before I left, so I'm going to try and get that out today, but I'm also going to try and crochet some stuff. I took a lot of inspiration from Japan, so I'm going to be showing you some of the new ideas I have for patterns that I'm going to be designing. I've started crocheting my first item since I've gotten home, and it is going to be this little mini tempura friend pattern. It's inspired by some of the plushies that I saw while I was in Japan. And I saw the cutest little tempura plushies. I actually did buy one, and they had like whole little setups and stuff and all these different little things. So I'm going to go ahead and try and crochet myself a little tempura buddy because I think they are so, so adorable. So this is going to be my take on the little tempura friend. I finished my little tempura friend. So he was inspired by this guy. It's called Sumiko Garashi. And they have a bunch of different little characters. So I think I'm going to also try and make a couple of the other characters as well. This is so cute. Like, I feel like it's pretty accurate, but a little bit bigger, of course. But I am really happy with how the little tempuras turned out with the tail sticking up the top. So yeah, I would consider this a success, especially a first try success, which is always my favorite. So we're going to now take this base and we're going to make a couple of the other ones. There are like some bears and birds and all these other different creatures. So I'm going to go ahead and try and make a couple other ones. I've just started watching Love Island USA, so I'm going to try and catch up while crocheting, which is great. I love reality TV or like sitcoms and stuff while crocheting because you don't have to pay full attention, so it's really easy to just like crochet and watch. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do and try and make a few more of these little guys and see what I end up with. This is the second little plushie I made for the pattern. It's this polar bear, but I'm not happy with it. I don't like the nose, and then I was thinking about the other animals that I could make for this pack, and I felt like, I don't know, I didn't want to just like copy all of the characters from this like series, and I wanted to make it a bit my own and also have a bit more variety because I was like, it's way too similar. Like there's only a little bit different, and like, I always feel really guilty like making stuff that's not like giving you a bunch of variety and giving you like value in a pattern. So I decided I'm going to do like a Japanese food themed little plushy bundle and no sew, of course. So this is what I came up with for the next one, which is a little dango. It's so cute. I'm obsessed with how this one came out, so it goes really well with the tempura, and then of course it's really fitting that it is a Japanese themed food bundle because I just came back, and also Japanese food is adorable and tasty. So I felt like that was the perfect little bundle theme. So next I'm making this little onigiri. I'm gonna try and do that, and then maybe like a mochi. I don't know what else. There was a couple things. Edamame, and then maybe something else as well. So maybe a matcha, have a drink included. So that would be really cute. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm really happy with it. And then I also have so many things running through my mind of all these different pattern ideas, and I just don't have enough time. It takes time to like make a pattern and think of it. But I have so many ideas. I just need time to be able to like split myself into 5 different bodies and make them all at the same time. But we're gonna keep doing this, and I will show you guys in the next clips what I end up making. I'm tapping out for the night, so I thought I would share my latest update. I have finished the onigiri, and of course I wanted to keep it no sew, so I made the little seaweed felt instead of crochet. But of course, if people don't have felt or they want to crochet, you can just crochet the onigiri seaweed. But anyway, this is what I've come up with. I think it's really cute as well. I like how the felt nari makes it a bit more like sleek, I think, because it's just nice and thin, and that's kind of how it looks like on the actual onigiri. So with the yarn, it would have been a bit bulkier. So I am very happy with how he has turned out, his little triangle self. I'm also halfway through designing the edamame. Usually when people design like peas in a pod type of patterns, I know that usually it's like 3 peas, and that is a very satisfying number, and I think it looks great. But for optimal accuracy, I feel like most of the edamame beans that I see and eat have 2. Of course, there are ones with 3 and like 1 and whatever, but I feel like 2 is the most common. So we're gonna go ahead and do 2. And I also don't want it to be like too big, and I want everything to fit nicely together. So I'm also working on the like casing for that. And then that's going to be number 4 of the pattern finished, which I'm quite happy with myself. I managed to do this all in like a couple hours. So that's quite productive of me. But then I'm going to think of one more thing. So maybe mochi, or I don't know, something else. But in the meantime, I also have other ideas that I'm going to sleep on and then come back to you guys tomorrow, finish off this pattern, and then I'm going to start designing another pattern because I can't wait and I don't want the momentum to get lost. So that's the plan for the rest of the weekend. It's a very gloomy, rainy Sunday today, so perfect to stay in and crochet, although I have some errands to run. I washed my dog this morning, and then I have to pick up my grandmother from her respite care. She was, while we were on holiday, she was there, so we're picking her up today and moving her back home, so she'll be very excited. But this is what I have for the edamame. I had to jump through a couple hoops to make it no-sew. It might have been a bit easier to just like add sewing, but I really want it to be a no-sew pattern. So this is what we've come up with, and I still need to add the little face on the bean, but this is what it's giving. I think it's really cute and simple and effective, and you can take the edamame beans out, so that's nice. And then I have made the matcha. I'm unsure about this one. So I don't know why it's like gone in like this, like the yarn. I don't know why it's doing that, so I think I'm gonna have to like rework a bit maybe, because that's really gonna piss me off. And I don't know if it's just like my technique, because I'm like, the stitches, I didn't like shrink it in. Anyway, really annoying. And then maybe I want to make the lid, like the rim of the lid, a little bit more pronounced, but again, another no-sew, and I think it's cute. So this is what we have going on for the matcha. And then that's 5 of my little Japanese food-inspired plushies. And then I think I'm going to make a mochi as well, and then we'll make it a 6-in-1 pattern, which is really fun. Just a cute little mini no-sew vibe. And then what I was thinking is I want to make like a lobster or a crab. I saw these really cute lobster and crab plushies while I was in Japan, and I got inspired because, of course, there are lobster and crab patterns. I literally made a crab before, a no-sew crab before I went away, but I want to make a different style and then probably not have it no-sew because I think it'll require sewing. So that's what I'm going to try and do after I get my errands done. And yeah, we'll come back and give another update. Oh my god, I'm so happy with how he turned out. This little crabby, I think I'm gonna name him Carl. So we'll have Carl, and then I'll make the little lobster Larry, and we'll have Carl and Larry. Oh my god, I'm so happy with him. It's like a little, he's meant to stand up. He does actually, you can't see, but he does stand up by himself, but he's so adorable. The vision I had executed perfectly. So now I'm going to try and make Larry. I probably won't finish him tonight, but we'll try and get him done at least tomorrow. I can't lie, I'm really struggling to execute this vision of the lobster. Don't judge right now because you guys don't know the vision, but it does look bad, so I guess you can judge. But I'm just like fiddling around with the eyes. They're not like locked in or anything, but I don't know. I really don't know what to do. And I'm feeling a little bit demotivated after everything else has come to me so easily. So I'm either going to try and make another idea I have because I have so many ideas and like put this one on the back burner. But I'm like, as soon as I do that, will I pick it back up? Probably not. So should I just thug it out and keep going? So maybe I will continue to try, but I'm also really sad to like waste yarn. That's one thing about pattern designing that like I struggle with a little bit is like wasting yarn. If the project ends up not like looking 100% and I've already like fastened off the pieces, if I really need it, I'll like cut the yarn and like frog it. But I don't know, it also, it does compromise the chenille yarn when you frog over and over again. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to try and continue maybe or pick up another pattern design. Regardless, I'm going to try and get this one something going. So I'm going to try, I think, and continue with this one, and then we'll see how it goes. But because I wanted to do like a crochet montage, but not with my pattern designs because they're not very free flowing, so I'm constantly stopping and starting. So we'll just keep going. Let's address the elephant in the room. I did cut my hair. I got bangs. I have been thinking about getting bangs for a few months, actually. Fun fact, I've had them my whole life up until I was 13, and I hated them for like the last couple of years just because it was like uncool to have bangs. So anyway, gotten them back again to cover my forehead, but this time in a different way. I don't know how I feel about it. I think there needs to be a bit of time to like have them lay flat because they're still like a bit like sitting a bit weird, not falling right, and like also kind of getting in my eyes. So anyway, that's a whole thing. But aside from that, I have finished Larry. This is what he is giving at the moment. I'm also unsure about him, but I think we have the weird cute on lock for this one, so that's definitely there, but I don't know. I feel like he goes well with Carl. I think they complement. So yeah, I'm going to say this one was a success. We'll have to sleep on it like I do with many of my designs before I end up liking them. But yeah, that's what we have. And then next up, I'm going to try and make, I don't know, I was going to try and make a capybara, but I might try and make something else. I don't know. We'll see what I come up with. Maybe the capybara. I've got my yarn winder right here in front of me because it is time to wind some skeins of yarn. This is something that I think every single crocheter should do if you have a lot of yarn. I personally find it way easier to use yarn when it's in cakes versus when it's in a skein, even though when I first like freshly open a skein of yarn, I will kind of just like, I tend to just use it, but then once I need to store it, then I will wind it into a cake and then use the cake after when I need it next, just because I'm lazy, and it does take time, but yeah, I have quite a few, and it is really difficult to store skeins of yarn on my trolley. I have a trolley that I put all my used skeins in, like opened skeins, and then all of my fresh ones stay back here just nicely because I find it easier to store the skein up like this on a shelf, but then if you want to have it stored like flat, it's easier to put a cake into storage like this trolley because it all just kind of tucks away a little bit neater and it becomes more dense, so it takes up less space. So that's ideal for me, but I am kind of like running out of space on this thing right now, so I need to use all of the colors I have up. But we're gonna go ahead and wind the hell out of this yarn. And then when we get towards the end of the winding process, I like to leave a bit of a tail, lift the yarn up, and then use the remaining tail just to wrap around to just secure, keep everything neat, use my crochet hook to just tuck the yarn tail so it doesn't unravel, and that just makes it really easy to store so it doesn't get all over the place when you're cramming them all next to each other. So that is cake number 1 done, and now time for cake number 2. All right, and that is cake number 2. Cake number 3 is done. Cake number 4. Cake number 5. Cake number 6, 1 left. That is cake number 7. Now I can store them away and put my yarn winder away until whenever I feel like I need it next, when all of the skeins start piling up. It's a new day and I'm really struggling with my new haircut with my bangs. I think I'm gonna crash out actually if I don't figure out how to style them. I'm just really unhappy, and like if I put them here they get into my eyes, but I'm scared to cut them shorter, especially by myself, and like mess it up. But I physically cannot have my hair like this because I can't see. It's like, but then if I pull it like this, like it looks like Squilliam Fancy Sun, like, oh. Anyway, enough of my own rambling. I spent last night designing a new pattern and I've very much almost finished it. But today I have come to a slow start. So we are going to try and finish this off now. If you can guess what it is, if I don't spoil it in the title or the thumbnail, if you can guess what this is, then I'll give you a chance. But I just need to finish off a couple more parts and then make the face. And then we'll be finished with this pattern that I'm making, which is great. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to continue pattern designing. I think I probably will, because the alternative to that is market prepping, and I still have it in me to design some more patterns. And then once I'm all patterned out, I can sort of relax, or not relax, but lock in and make some market prep items. So that's the plan for the rest of the week. If you guessed Usahana, you would be correct. This is a little Usahana pattern. Usahana is my favorite Sanrio character. I feel like she's so underrated, even though there's actually like a lot of us Usahana fans out there, but there's like no merch of her anywhere. So this is why I felt extra compelled to make this pattern. But if you guys haven't noticed, she doesn't have a face. That's because I need to do the face in felt, but the eyes are blue and the mouth is pink. And I have the pink felt, but I don't have blue at the moment. I swear I did. I don't know where it's gone. There's no way I've used it all. So this blue felt is missing. So I'm gonna have to go and buy some blue felt, but I'm just gonna call this video for now and give you guys a little pattern wrap up of everything I made, just because it's getting a lot now and we're moving into the next week. So I'm going to start off the next week finishing this guy, but in the meantime, I'll show you guys everything that I made this week. So to start the recap, we have my little tempura buddy. So adorable. I still love her, or him, them. So cute. And then next we had the dango. Another one that I'm very pleased with. So cute and just like a classic, you know, like easy no-sew, but still cute. Then we have the onigiri, another one that's just simple but adorable, and again, something that is classic. You recognize it instantly. Love her. Then we have our edamame pod. Cute, but I think maybe I can rework it a little bit. I still do need to add the face, but yeah, it could be reworked, because this whole no-sew stuff is making it a little bit more complex and less like seamless than I wanted it to be. So we'll see how this one ends up when I try and make it again. And then of course we have my matcha latte that is wonky for whatever reason. So this one also needs a take 2, which is frustrating because we were so close, you guys. We were doing so good for the first 3, and then the last 2 kind of derailed this pattern bundle, but we'll definitely make this one again. It's not hard. So yeah, another cute little no-sew for my Japanese no-sew bundle. And then I'm going to try and make a mochi for it maybe next week. I do need to start market prepping, so that's going to be a big thing for it our next vlog. And then the next thing I made, we have Mr. Carl. I think he's my favorite one. I think he's just so cute. I absolutely love crabs, and I'm very happy with this one. So Carl is one of my favorites, probably the favorite of the week. And then we have Larry, who again is just kind of like derpy looking, but like in a cute way, you know, like wholesome, little weird looking guy. So that is Larry. And then of course, lastly, we have the unfinished Usahana that I just showed you, but in terms of all the crochet stuff, she's finished. She just needs the felt face, but I'm very happy with her as well. Another first take, which thank God for that, because I love when I get it right in the first try and I don't have to like waste yarn. But that is all 8 of the patterns that I have made in in about a week, just over a week, which is crazy to me. Yeah, in a week I've made 8 patterns. That's insane. So my Crojo is definitely back. I'm excited to continue in next week's vlog. You guys will definitely see much more of this and some more market prep, because the days are moving. I haven't market prepped yet, but these guys are patterns that will end up at the market. So, you know, it kind of works out in the end. So we'll get to it next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.